Five guys. So, welcome everybody. It's a very big night for us. There's been a few technical problems because normally I blame this on my podcast partner, Rick Vive, but I can't tonight because it's all me here. We're a little bit of confusion. Jim McKenney gets stuck between floors here at our place, so he's having some problems. So, we're waiting for him. We're trying to get a few other guys online. Rick Vive just landed at Toronto International. He's going to join us in a few minutes. But in the meantime, the most important thing we have is tonight is the night of the draw for the ALS Superfund. And what we have done is we have actually sold 2,500 tickets. We've raised $50,000, folks. So we're very, very happy with that. And in the meantime, people are going to win some fantastic prizes we have tonight. But we have not done this alone. We've had some tremendous, tremendous support from the National Hockey League, from Bay Street, from people all around. And we've had some big donors. And I just want to say one of our friends off Bay Street bought 500 tickets or $10,000 worth. Another guy bought 200. Another bought 200. Another bought 100. So we've had some tremendous, tremendous support. We've had guys like Daryl Sittler, who steps up every time you ask him to do something. He's there. Bruce Boudreau, who's an extremely busy guy, is going to join us tonight. Brad Smith, who's Motor City Smitty, people remember from the 80s, is going to join us. Rick Vive, not even a hesitation. He will join us driving back in from the airport. And, of course, we've got Lance Hornby from the Toronto Sun, who's joined us here today also. So we want to get things going. And I thought right off the bat we would start with now Louis Doré, who's this young champion. He's much like Mark Kirton, who, everybody, has had nothing but respect for this man, the way he carried himself on a day-to-day basis, working endlessly and tirelessly to find a cure for this dreaded disease. And Louis is the same way. So we want to get things going right off the bat. So before I bring Gabby and Lance in, what we're going to do is we're going to draw one of the prizes right off the bat. So now before we do this, there is 8 NHL game day packages that are being raffled off. And in fairness, now, Louis, if you can get behind me, this is a very scientific process we're doing here, folks, right from our condo on Bay Street, Deb and I. Louis, I want you to pull the name out of the team. This is the first one that's going to be drawn. So we'll pull this one out. Get in there, Louis, and pull it out. And let's see which one we have. And who do we have? Let's see who the team is. Price Waterhouse checked all this, by the way, so it's all legit, folks. And it is. This one is for the LA Kings. Okay, in this package, just so you guys know, let me find it here. It includes 4 tickets to Ameche Pond Green for the upcoming season, a parking for 1 in the Lot W, whatever that means, a dinner for 4 at the Lexus Club, and it can be used in conjunction with the tickets. So it's a terrific package. I'm sure these guys out there are probably a game day package thrown in as well. But in the meantime, let's draw the first lucky winner out. Here's our tickets, Louis. We're going to give one a pull here. Reach in there and pull the name out. Let's see who we come up with. And the first lucky winner of the LA Kings is Al Rose. And that's a well-known guy from the NHL Network, who NHL Alumni Lunches. And Al wins the LA Kings package. So without further ado, let's move further along here. Let's bring in Gabby and Lance. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you guys tonight, Gabby?
Mm-hmm. Good. It's a great day. I just drove to Toronto today, so I'm at my mom's. It's a lot of fun.
Lance, how about you?
Very good. Very good. Just left Leaf practice earlier today. They're on their way probably up north by now for some golf and the ever popular team bonding the next 3 days in the Muskokas. So when they come back, I'm sure they'll be well rehearsed and ready for those last 2 exhibition games against Detroit.
So it's no secret, Bruce, that you are a Leaf first fan. And when I followed the Leafs that one year, and you were in Minnesota, and we had a long chat, you told me you watch every one of their games still, even to this day. What's your thoughts with the change, with 16 moving to the West Coast, and how things look moving forward for our beloved Maple Leafs?
Well, you know what? To me, the jury's out, because, I mean, I don't think personnel-wise they got better, but maybe the way that Craig wants to play, he wants a bigger, heavier team that maybe that it'll work out a little bit better. And I don't know what the chemistry of the room was like. I don't know if Mitch wanted to leave or he didn't want to leave. And hi, Brad. And
Hi,
but
guys.
all of those things, I mean, the time will tell. You got to understand, in my knowledge anyway, that the one thing about Mitch and with the Leafs is he was the first guy on the power play, on the penalty kill, on the last minute of play, everything. So I mean, those kind of guys are pretty hard to replace, no matter how many guys you get in return for them and what kind of assets you get. So it's going to be a tough one, but I think the Leafs will play a different style of game this year, and I don't know if it'll be better or worse, but it's going to be exciting.
So we've just been joined by somebody that the fans from our genre will know and know quite well. Brad, Motor City Smitty, how you doing, Brad? And thanks for joining us today from the lovely state of Washington.
Good to see you, gentlemen. Sorry I had some technical issues here. I still do, so I have to use my phone now. I'm not the crispiest chip in the bag when it comes to this. I don't have my daughters here, so I'm in.
Well, you know, as I told the boys before, I have a podcast with Squid, so you know what I have to deal with on a regular basis. So we're used to all kinds of things like this. So you from far away, what's your thoughts on the Toronto Maple Leafs as the season approaches a week away?
Well, you don't forget I work with the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
So I need to be pretty careful what I say. I like the team.
Very true.
I of course, I played there, had some great years there for a mediocre player. The fans are really good to me, and I like their outfit. I like their new coach. I think they're obviously going to be very competitive. I've always said there's only one puck on the ice, and you know they're obviously going to miss Mitch, but they got enough talented players. They're not going to miss any goals. That's for sure.
So let me ask you this: so working in Colorado, how's the Avalanche look this year? Is this team going to get themselves back into the Final Four? Do you believe? Are they good enough to get there?
Well, I think we're certainly skilled enough and talented enough, and you know, we've done a pretty good job there over the years. I've been there since the first year there, but you know, the players came to camp. They're in shape. They're ready to go. You know, Nathan's going to be on a mission, and we'll see what happens. And the big thing is, you know, we can't get any injuries. You get injury to a key player, you're in any team, you're in trouble. So I think we'll be fine and should have a great year.
Well, any team with Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon certainly is going to have a chance at winning anything. So it's not a far reach to say they're going to be competitive this year. So, guys, I think on that note here, what we should do is we take another. People are sitting and waiting. And there's another one coming in here. My old partner, Hey Squid. Guess what? We had technical problems, and it wasn't even your fault this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm not the only one here. I was quick. I was quicker with that Squid, just like I was on the ice.
Well, I've come to the conclusion that hockey players in the 80s were all stupid when it comes to technology. That's what I've come to the conclusion, because I've got the same problem you guys have. Lance is the only one that knows what he's doing probably every day.
Well, no, I'm of that generation too.
Well, I was going to say, guys, we've got Rick. I know you're in the car, but you got Brad Smith and Gabby Boudreau and Lance Hornby with us here. Now, I got to tell you one funny story. Howie McKenney got stuck in the elevators coming to our place here, like between floors, and he got so mad he left because they wouldn't come and find him. So anyway, what we're going to do now, very quickly before we get back, I want to do one more draw. Let's pull this one out of the hat here. We've got some Louis Del Rey is going to do the honors again. So if you can pull this one out, and we'll see what team this is and what the package is. And we got the guys here on the phone. And this one is for the Nashville Predators. And this is a pretty good package, folks. Well, they're all good. This one, four Laurel Bowl seats to including Lexus Lounge access during the game. That's always important for the beer drinkers. Pre-game dinner at the BetMGM Sports Lounge. And you also get an opportunity to attend the morning skate, inclusive of and a meet and greet with with Nashville Predator general manager Barry Trotz, and a picture with the winners' favorite player in the Nashville Predators. That's a fantastic prize. So let's see who the lucky winners of that one. And Louis, do the honors. And the lucky winner is Jeff Beatty, who he was one of our big donors and great guy. And he, he was on the board of MLSC, so he's a big supporter of this. And, we can't thank Beats enough for his support in this, but he won the Nashville package. So, guys, I'd be remiss if we didn't touch on one of the reasons why we're here, why Deb and I have been involved right from the beginning of this. Mark Kirton, I met him back in the days of Tier 2 hockey, playing the Wexford Raiders, and he came to camp with him. And he was, I think, 15. And there was this other cocky 14-year-old who was running everybody in sight. Now, his name was Keith Acton. And there was this other guy, this Mark Kirton kid, the blonde-haired kid, good-looking, had a swagger, but, man, he could play. And, I was 3 years older than him, and he was better than me already. So I thought, wait, I better take up another sport looking at him and Acton. And these guys were 4 years younger than me. So that was enough for me right there. But I got to say, Gabby, I know it's hard for you. You've known him a long time. Just one of your favorite stories of Kurt's that you'd like to share with us if you could.
Well, of the stories I can share, because as you know, there are stories that are out there that we probably couldn't share right here. But Mark, unbelievable. We lived together in Moncton, and if there's anything worse than three centers, excuse me, in the minors that are vying to get back up to the Leafs, is we would have fights every day. The hardest part of our game all the time was practices, because we would back in the days in the 70s, we would scrimmage all the time, and so we it would be me, Jim Jones, and Mark Kirton lived together. So I mean, we would kill each other, and then every night we played Yahtzee, and it was just as every night that we were home, we played Yahtzee, and it was just as competitive then. So I mean, and my relationship with Mark continued every summer. We would golf, and we would do anything we could to beat each other. But I mean, a more competitive man you'll never find. And that's just with those things, you knew that he was going to fight the good fight when it came to ALS, and and he did. He was one of the bravest guys, if not the bravest man I ever met. But we had so many great battles, and from then on, and every year we would, whether we were playing with each other or against each other, we saw each other every summer. We made it a point that 1 week of every year that we had to there was four of us, that we all golfed together, different golf courses, played for a lot of money, which Mark never paid up, which is that's okay. But I mean, it was so much fun all the time.
Squid, you had moments with him too, like something you can share with us. No Ontario Place stories or Sailors Pub stories.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, what I remember is just how hard he worked, and I mean, he was up and down. One of those guys. Gabby can attest to that. That you didn't get called up all the time for a year or for the whole year. Up and down, and that was kind of the way Mark was. But when he got up there, he gave everything he had, and tried as hard as he could to stay. And he did a pretty damn good job of it too, because he did ended up staying for about 4 or 5 years in a row, and he was a battler. I mean, just like he did when he had ALS, he battled through that, started that Superfund, and just kept going and going and going, and that's the way he was as a player.
Brad, you ran into him in Detroit. What's your fond memory? And I'm sure there's many, but one you could possibly share.
I could probably tell a couple quick ones that are pretty good. Great player, great guy, smart player. Great third or fourth line player, but real good at what he did. Killing penalties and that kind of stuff. Good student of the game. But a couple stories I have, I'll tell you one quick one. We were playing at Grosse Ile Golf and Country Club. You guys all know who Bud Lynch is. Mm-hmm. Bud Lynch has got one arm. You guys know who Bud is, right?
Red Wings, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bud would play golf with one hand. And Mark Hurt came up to Bud and kind of asked Bud, how big's the fish you caught last year, Bud? And Bud would hold up one leg and one arm and said, this big. Mark said, I hit the ball further you can, Bud, with one arm. And sure enough, Shorty hit the ball about 50 yards past Bud, and Bud was pissed. But the main thing with Mark is we had a wiffle ball league in Paul Wood's backyard, and it was pretty serious stuff. We'd have an umpire for all the games, and we'd pitch. We'd have our own lineup. Of course, we just like regular baseball, but we're just 1 against 1. And I remember we're playing in the semifinals, and I beat Woody really bad, and we didn't see Woody for 2 days. And then Mark and I played for the championship, and I beat him real bad. Like, I felt bad. I just was whacking home runs over Woody's backyard fence. And to this day, well, God bless Mark. I know he's having practicing his wiffle ball, because when I get there one day, we're going to have another match. And he still, the last time we were in the radio show together, about, 2 or 3 months ago, he still insists that he whacked me around, but he did it. But I love Mark. We had a lot of fun together. And like all you guys said, what a strong guy, what he went through, and so sad. And but I told my kids all about him, because Boria had the same type of thing, and my kids really took it hard. It was tough in our house for about 24 hours. But rest in peace, fly easy, buddy. I'll see you soon.
And Lance, from the journalistic side, what were your dealings with Mark, if you had any?
When I was much younger and a rookie reporter, he was a really nice man, and of course in those days we had much better access, as Bruce and Squid will attest to, and Brad too. We got to know the players much better because we had better day-to-day access to them. And Mark was such a gentleman and a great quote. And I must say too that to Brad's point, when Boria passed, Mark was so good in explaining, to many people who didn't know what ALS was, and how much the struggles of not only his family, but I believe he said 1,000 Canadians were diagnosed with the disease, and that it was very hard for them to get government support, and red tape was quite an issue. So it was very, very, very helpful to me that I could tell his story and explain it with Boria's passing. Exactly what the disease was, how much it affects people around you, and how much work is still to be done out there in the research arm, and also to help the caregivers, because they're so important in the story as well.
Well, that's one of the things we want to stress to people, that just because we're having an ending tonight where people are winning a prize, this battle isn't over. It's just beginning, and it's a never-ending battle. And when Deb and I first got involved in this, we were dealing with Mark, and Mark it was just his energy and just this tireless effort to not give up the fight at any cost, and just putting himself aside and worrying about other people. And this young man sitting beside me, Louis DeRay's the same way. These two cut from out those cloths. I just look at him and say, how can you not help them? Like, anytime you're sitting feeling sorry for yourself, you look at what these kids are going through and these guys are going through. It's just heartbreaking. Yet they don't want any sympathy. They want to move forward and be stronger than ever. So you got to tip your hat to them. And then the people that are supporting them, like we have Kevin Dawson from the ALS board with us tonight. Gino Del Rey is with us too, Louis' father, who's been he runs an event every year with 650 people and sells it out and has to turn people away. And these are the efforts that people are making. Kevin Moorhead in Vancouver works tirelessly with the NHL trying to push forward. Lee and all the rest of the group there they just do not stop. And anytime you want to reach out to them for any kind of help, they're right there to support us. So we all know that. We know what it's all about. So just because we're doing this tonight doesn't mean it ends. We will still continue to fight along. Deb and I will still be involved any way we can help. And we're just reaching out to people to help us extend this and keep it going. So with that, let's pull another ticket. Louis, you got more work to do here. Pull another one out here, and let's see who the lucky winner of this one's going to be. This one?
Colorado.
Oh, Brad Smith, Colorado Avalanche. Now, maybe we got some pull here to get some, maybe a little 3 extra goodies thrown in here. So now the Colorado Avalanche one. Now, I got to tell you, first off, the guy who runs your operation there, I think people may have heard him. His name is Joe Sakic. When they first put this one out, and this is how good the NHL guys are, a lot of these had dates on them, set dates. And Deb and I went to the organizers and said, well, the set dates, people can't plan when they're buying these in February for March. So Jeff Jackson, Joe Sakic, Luke Robitaille, these guys said, no problem. Just pick any game. We'll make it work. And it's just the generosity of these guys stepping up. Because think about, well, Brad, you can probably speak to this when we're done with this. How many requests, and Gabby, Rick, people get for charity to help? It's just endless, and it's just going on every day. Yet these guys, front and center, boom. And I can tell you, Debbie and I have been involved for years raising money at charities at our home. We never have seen all 32 NHL teams contribute something to an auction like we did with the ALS Superfund in February, the Four Nations. So awesome. Now, that in mind, Louis, who's the lucky winner? Dig in there and reach hard. Let's get somebody. And the lucky winner is, oh, there's lots of names written on this one. It is Brent Canada. Brent Kamada. We'll have to reach out to Brent. Now, that's the Colorado one. We got to put that down. I think I should get Deb to mark those. He was at the dinner? Okay. All right. So, Brent, you won the Colorado one, so it's all good. All right. So, with all that in mind, guys, I just a couple other things I'd like to give it to you guys. Gabby, what's up for the season for you? You're going to be spending more time on NHL Network and working between Sportsnet and moving around?
Well, it's not Sportsnet, but I mean, I'll
TSN, sorry.
TSN, yeah, it's almost bad. That's bad language here. Yeah, Sportsnet. But I mean, I do the pre and post games for the Caps as well, and at the NHL Network and TSN, and then my work on Sirius XM. So I'm all over the place all the time, and we have a little junior team, like a tier 3 junior team that my kid runs, and so I'm all over him every day. So it's I finally knew now know what an owner is like when we're not getting. I feel like that guy on Slapshot when he looks at the crowd and there's not enough people in it. We got to get more people. Don't give the tape away. Don't give the pucks away. We got to sell them, pick them up. So I mean, it's just running around doing all of the stuff and trying to stay, and I'm staying busy, so it's all good. I mean, if I didn't have all that stuff, I'd lose my mind. But other than that, just watch hockey every night and have a good time doing it.
So speaking of which, you just touched on the subject there. You were a factor in the movie Slapshot, which is regarded by some as the best sports movie of all time. Just one quick anecdote from that. Filming that, and you were with Dave Hansen, I believe. You lived with him at the. You guys were roommates.
Yeah, we were.
He
doesn't want to admit it because I know when they were asking for the one night where they came in after practice and said, "Hey, listen, we need the messiest apartment, the biggest slob of whoever lives there. We need that to do a scene with Paul today," and that was the one when he was lying in bed with the dog and he couldn't get any sleep. And everybody stood up and pointed to me, and which really, really hurt because I was only there for 34 games. So I must have made quite an impression in Johnstown while I was there.
Well, I'll have to say you did. That's for sure. So,
in a negative way, by the way, not a good way.
well, that's another subject we can't talk about on this air. So that's one over some other different sort of environment. Now, Squid, you've been out quiet here. Your son's team, how's our minor league team look this year in ECHL?
They made a couple of signings. They got a goalie from another team that obviously must have been a free agent. They were told that they're probably going to get 10 to 14 guys from the Marlies. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, it could be really good, or, I mean, if these young kids coming down from the Marlies aren't ready for that kind of hockey, then it could go the opposite. But I think it's going to be a real good year for them.
Fantastic. So, Smitty, for you. Now, here you were known as Motor City Smitty. Now, how did you get that handle? Was that, maybe Lance can chime in on that, was that the media, or did somebody just lay that on you? And what were your thoughts when that was all going on, you were having that run here in Toronto?
No, when I was signed with Detroit, and then Daryl Sittler called me up and asked me if I have any interest in signing with Toronto. And I said, yes, I do. So I went down to Toronto the next day. I met with Jerry McNamara and Coach Maloney, and they gave me a pretty good deal. And I decided to go with sign with Toronto. And then Bill Waters said something the next day in the Toronto paper where it said, when I was in Detroit, they never called me Motor City. But when the Toronto paper the next day, it said, Motor City Smitty's coming to Toronto. I guess it stuck because everybody calls me Motor. Even my friends here call me Motor. So that's how it came about.
So, Lance, can you fill in on that one?
I can back that story up. Certainly, everybody knows Bill Waters had a gift for nicknames, and that was one that certainly made Brad's career. But I just remember Brad having a black eye from getting taking a punch in a playoff game, and that black eye was on the front page of the Toronto Sun, one of our biggest sellers, of course. And Brad and all those guys, whenever the Leafs were doing well in playoffs and those upset situations when everyone thought they weren't going to make it, and of course did well, and of course the building was filled with people, the real fans, so to speak, because the regular season ticket holders sent their tickets back, and there was a couple of great series that happened beyond that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun covering Motor City Smitty and all those guys at that time. I got to say that I wasn't around long enough to cover Bruce, but I got to say Rick, through thick and thin, was always there, win, lose, or draw, and that's not always the case with today's Maple Leafs.
Well, you guys were born fair to me. I always say that, for a mediocre guy coming to a big city and that kind of stuff. And you guys are always great. I always say that, and I always appreciate the media in Toronto, how they treated me and my
Toronto
family.
loves its blue-collar players.
They do. So, guys, I think we're going to move this along a little bit here because we've got some anxious people out there that want to know if they won or not, and they have to start making some travel plans. So, Louis, I'm going to get you to pull 2 this time. And we'll see who the lucky people are in this case. We've got 2 anxious guys sitting in the room here, the Bellissimo brothers, who are another pair of beauties that just support anything we ever do, and we love these guys. Who's this one? Oh, I see you pulling that out. Okay, guys, I think this might be the best one. This is San Jose Sharks. Beautiful climate. You go out here, and this is what you get. This package, I think, is the best one. 4 tickets to the Sully Lounge to the mutually agreed upon game during the regular season anytime this year. They'll be within the first 3 rows, closest to the glass, and include food and beverages. And you know what beverages mean? That's beer, wine, and spirits. Double occupancy at a hotel room for 4 guests at the Hilton in downtown San Jose the night before the game. Your morning skate at Sharks Ice, which I've been to. It's a great spot. And watch the skate from the hockey operation perch. Winners will get to meet General Manager Mike Greer and other select Shark players and alumni. So, I mean, that is a tremendous prize. You can work a golf trip around that, do all kinds of things. This could be a beauty. So, who's the lucky winner of this one, Louis? Got to mark these down so I can remember who's who.
You're recording it, aren't you? Yeah. Podcast. You can go listen to it.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I never told you guys I was smart.
This is the 80s, right?
Exactly right. Okay, you got one? Who we got here? Oh, guess who won this one? The old have anybody's watched Dragon's Den? Michael Werkley wins this one. He won the San Jose Sharks, so we'll have to work that one over on him and get myself invited on that trip. Deb and I will have to work him over. So Mike Werkley won that one. Now we're going to pull a second one, Louis. Let's see who this one is. This one's the Minnesota Wild. Now, this one's a pretty good one. Well, they're all good, folks. I don't know why I'm saying that. They're all good. The Minnesota Wild one includes 4 lower bowl seats to any game, 4 guest passes to watch the morning skate, a VI pass for parking, an assistant for local hotels based on availability, so you get a discount on the hotel room. So another great deal. And I'm sure, you can go to, there's a great bar there you can go to.
Tom Reed's. Go to
That's
Tom Reed's.
exactly right. Yeah, there you go, guys. That's how I've been there a couple times. That's a good spot. And Louis, grab one here. We got a handful. We got one ticket, and this one goes to the lucky winner. Oh, you got a whole pile of them. This one will be, survey says. Oh, no, I can't. You know what? Whack again. Same guy wins twice, back to back. He bought 200 tickets, so there's a good chance. Well, you know what? He's not getting that one. I can tell you that much. That one will be sold. Okay, guys. So now, Gabby, back to you. Since you're doing the Washington games, is Washington going to repeat last year? Was last year for real, or was that a little bit of an anomaly, or is this team on the uptrend?
No, they're a good team, but listen, to do what they did, almost every player on the team had career years. And we know why they're called career years, because they're hard to repeat. But they, you know what, they're a little older, but at the same time, their defense is the same defense it was last year that was in the top 10 in the league. They've got some really good young players that can skate, and they always have number 8 there. If they just all they have to do is feed him the puck and from inside the circles, because I don't know if he can back check anymore, so it's got to be inside the circles. And he gets that shot away, it's lethal at any point in time.
Now, guys, I want to go to we lost Squid, I think, with the phone. Now, you two guys, Brad, you're playing in Toronto, you've been around, and Gabby, you were Harold Ballard a character on itself. You had him as a junior. When a junior, he'd come watch your games and with the Leafs. So, Brad, any run-ins with Harold or a Harold story you can share with us? Because we always ask everybody that comes on our show, by the way. And there's never shortage of them.
I probably option a lot of people. I won't speak for anybody. I really liked Harold. I really liked King. I liked when they were around. They were positive as far as I was concerned. They treated me and my family well.
Yeah.
I know Harold is Harold and that kind of stuff, but to me as a hockey kid growing up and being around those kind of people was a privilege for me. And I can only speak high praise for Harold and King Clancy.
Well said. Daddy, how about you?
Oh, you know what? I liked him. I mean, I don't know if he said anything bad about me behind my back, but to my face, he was always really nice. You know, the one thing about him that I always thought, you know, when you're a guy in the minors and you want to stay up there, he was always calling me Pat Boutette. And I never wanted to correct him because I knew Booter was a guy that was going to be on the team. So I would just say, yes, Mr. Ballard, yes, Mr. Clancy, and walk on. So I thought as long as he thought I was Pat Boutette, I was pretty solid there for a while. But that obviously waned out and didn't last as long as I would have liked it.
My dad came in one day to watch a practice in the playoffs. And back then they wouldn't let anybody in the building. And I told the security guard, let my dad in. My dad came in, and Mr. Ballard came down and asked my dad, "Are you a poacher? What are you doing in here?" He goes, "No, I'm Brad's dad." And I didn't know this at the time what happened, but later on during practice, I look up the stands, and there's my dad sitting with Harold Ballard and King Clancy. And that was a big thrill for him. So, but he called my dad a poacher.
Well, Wendell Clark we had on the show one time, and he was always kind of a Ballard favorite. And I mean, 2 stories about him that I can share that he gave us. One was, Kelvington, Saskatchewan, the father had a hard time watching games a lot of the time. So Harold said, "No problem, I'll look after it. I'll put a satellite dish in for you." So he had a satellite installed, and he thought this was the greatest thing. You could sell your son's games. And then Wendell said, "Yeah, but he didn't tell my dad that he took it out of my paycheck the next time I got paid." So, but the other side of the coin was him and Russ Courtney were 2 young kids, and Harold would always say to Gord Stellick, "Make sure you always have money," because those 2 kids don't have credit cards. There was no ATM machines in those days. Make sure you always have a couple $100 to give those kids so they have money in their pockets and they're running around in the road. So there was that side of them too. So, but Lance, you must, over the years, the Brian McFarland stories are just endless with Harold, but anything, do you ever have a bad time with Harold? Do he ever give you help for anything?
Well, I'll make this quick. There was the night that there was a time in the early mid-'80s when Harold banned the media from the dressing room. And one night we secretly stacked the house, so to speak, in the press box, brought everybody in, and then decided to run the room as a protest. So we waited the regulated 10 minutes, and we all crashed in and did our interviews and left. And Harold got wind of it, and he had Henry, I think the guy's name was the guy who pushed his wheelchair. And Harold came running in, or not running, obviously, but Henry pushed the wheelchair in, and Harold was swinging his cane left, right, and center, and hitting photographers and everything. He was very upset that he'd been upstage. But anyway, to everyone else's point, a great man when it came to charity. And I was just at Bridgepoint Hospital visiting a relative the other day, and they have the Harold E. Ballard wing there for visitors center. So his impact to charities is still being felt in a good way, obviously, across the city.
Wonderful. Well, I think on that note, guys, I think just speaking of charity, we should pull another raffle. So we got other work for you to do here, Louis. So reach in. Don't pull whack this time, please. People are going to say this thing's rigged. It's not. Okay, so who we got here? So this one, we only have 3 left. This one's the Philadelphia Flyers. Our good friend Ricky Tocchet, now the coach. I'm sure they will make this a memorable experience for somebody, but it's I know the Philly one is tickets to the game, meet and greet with a player or maybe the coach, and parking pass to the game, and I'm sure they'll get a morning skate in there. So let's see who the winner is of that one. And just grab a ticket and see who you can grab. And we got one here. And this one goes to, oh, geez. Jeff Beattie again. What's that? Put that one back in? I think we should do that.
Yeah, Jeff.
What do you think, Jeff?
Jeff did say.
Yeah,
and he was no problem.
He bought 500 tickets. I mean, the chance of him winning 1 or 2 is probably pretty good. You know what I'm going to do? On his behalf, he can kill me if I do. I'm going to put it back. We'll draw another one. He'll be fine with it. All right, so let's, Louis, don't pull him or what, please.
Fuck.
Okay, so let's see who this is. Okay, good. Now, this person, Dean, didn't leave their last name, but left the phone number. So that'll be okay.
Yeah, remember the thing that was at.
Oh, that was going to be at your event.
Was it?
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, well, maybe that phone number. I don't know if that phone number looks familiar, but they won. All right, well, I got to your Louis. Let's draw another one.
Because a lot of people
We have 2 left after this, guys. Yeah, we're going to phone them anyway. This one's for the New York Islanders. Louis? And we'll get one here. And then we're gonna pull one out here, hoping that there's somebody. Well, that night at Gino Louis' event, this one is McQuid. He's one of your guys, Paul. McQuid. McGee, that's the name, McGee. Yeah, he won. He won the New York Islanders. So that's very good. All right, guys, we're getting down to the final strokes here. It's 1 minute. We got one more left to do. But before to do that, I'd just like to go around the table and get some final thoughts from everybody. Brucey, I know you, as I've said at the beginning of this, I know you were close with Marky, and just any final thoughts on the man and just how we go forward from here to help carry on the tremendous work that he's done to this stage and the work that Louis and his family are doing as well.
Yeah, you know what? Mark was relentless. And one of the things when I was coaching in Vancouver, Mark said, I want to come out and do an event in Vancouver. And we said, great. And we got together but he flew out, and his two of his best friends, brought him out. And this is when he was in a wheelchair and he couldn't move very well. And he would go to great depths to get his message across, and I thought that was so amazing. And then we had a little party for him at my house. But the whole idea is that Mark would never quit. He'd go from Newfoundland to British Columbia just to get the message across about ALS. And I think what he did was so outstanding. And it sort of brought. He always told me, he says, there's not enough recognition of this disease in Canada. And he's definitely stepped it up, and hopefully it goes somewhere and we end up getting a cure, because I seen it from the very beginning with Mark, from the minute he got it and to the last days that he had, and just so debilitating, so terrible, and would love for us to find a cure for that in our lifetime.
Well said. Brad?
I agree, ditto with what Gabby says, but one thing that really actually inspired me and got really choked up sometimes is how positive he was. Like I said, we've done 3 of these interviews, which was great, and he didn't miss a beat. He laughed, he was positive, he wasn't moping, he wasn't negative, and he just fought through as best as he could. And it's a lesson to us all. Like I said, he'll be missed, and but the big thing was how positive he was, and laughing, and like nothing was going on with him. Just a super guy, and like I said, I can't wait to see him one day to play that game of football and beat his ass again.
Another well said. Lance?
You know what? It's very rare in these days when one man can bring 32 NHL teams together like he did with the ALS Super Draw, and knowing him and the obvious effects on his family and how much he tried to carry on as normal a life as possible. Nothing but great admiration for the man, and hopefully his good work continues.
Wonderful said. So I'll have a closing comment in a minute, but in the meantime, I'd like to just draw the last one, and I'll save it to trouble. There's only one left, and this one I believe is the St. Louis Blues, and this is another good one as well, too, along with all of them. I think I'm repeating myself every time saying they're all good, but they are. So I'm a little biased on them, but they are terrific prizes, and they just don't come along to the public very often. So this one, the lucky winner gets 4 Plaza tickets to the game, any game during this season. 4 guest passes to watch the morning skate, 4 passes to coach's morning press conference. You get passes to post-practice meet and greet with the captain, Braden Shen. And they also get an in-game ESPN radio experience for 4. Just a tremendous package. And somebody's just going to love that one. And let's see who the lucky person is. Just make sure it's not Jeff Beattie or Mike Weckerly. Please. Okay, you got it? Please. If there's a God up there. Oh. Now this guy, the only bad thing with this guy's a Montreal Canadian fan. Scotty Morrison, not the writer, but he was a client of mine, and he bought 87 tickets in honor of Sidney Crosby during the 4 Nations. So he wins the St. Louis Blues package. So that's a wonderful, nice ending to that. So guys, just as a wrap, I want to thank you guys all for taking the time to join us here. Squid, who got cut off because he was in a car. Poor old Howie got stuck in between floors. So he got a little mad and went home, but he still was here. And he was here for a good hour. I know that. Myself personally and Deb, we just want to thank everybody out there who supported this. You know, the emails are endless. Deb, you did, you know, monumental work handling all these calls coming in and all the emails. I get the easy part. I get to talk to people. Debbie does all the real hard work, dealing with everybody, checking bounces all the money. As I said, we raised $50,000. We didn't do it alone. We had a lot of help from people to do this. We want to continue the work. As Gabby said, and Brad and Lance, it's not over. This is going to continue. We will still take donations. My charity book that I wrote, listen, the book may stink. Not the one Lance wrote with me, but the other one. It may stink, but it's a good door stopper for you. You can use it for firewood. We'll send you a book. Send us $20, and the money will go right to ALS, and we're going to continue to do that. And here's the book here. It's on beer league hockey. And anybody who's ever played, I'll tell you one story, folks, if you haven't heard it. One little story about a cop, and this is the type of story he's getting beer league hockey. Going to his game one night, and he's still in uniform, and he's playing at 10 o'clock. His shift ends at 10. So he's on the way to the rink at Markham Centennial in Markham, and he has to arrest a guy. He pulls this cover and arrests him. So he's got this guy in the back of the car. He goes to the rink, and he goes, well, if I take this guy in and book him, I'm going to miss my game. So he takes him to the rink, handcuffs him to a seat in Markham Centennial at 10 o'clock at night, the only guy there. And he said to the guy, listen, if you cheer real loud for me, I'm number such and such, I'll let you go. So here's this guy with one arm on the bench, standing up, screaming the guy's number. And the whole bench is going, who's that guy? And he goes, I don't know. And so anyway, he told the boys after, and it became a legendary story. So the book is full of stories like that. Guys, it took over 200 guys to get this book. But most importantly, the money goes to ALS. And we're not going to stop the fight as long as we can. And as long as guys like Louis continue to fight and Gino continue to fight, we will too. And we take it as an honor. So thanks. Thanks, everybody, for watching, for putting up with this. Gabby, thank you so much for joining us. Motor City Smitty, thanks for joining us. Lance, thanks for joining us. Howie, I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. I'll buy you lunch. Squid, thanks for joining. And our podcast will start next week. So tune in, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And let's continue the fight.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Anytime I'm on a show with you, Lance, and